Lost in the Script, episode 45, Conspiracies.
Conspiracies. A lot of these so-called conspiracy theories that we have been purporting for the last 2 years are being proven day after day after day.
Well, you know the black man is known as a conspiracy.
Yeah, he was the first
theorist.
conspiracy theory.
So, he ain't nothing new to us.
Theory. But everything we're going to talk about, it's really, I guess you could say we really only have one conspiracy to talk about this video. Everything we say pretty much the second half of this is going to be leading up to one conspiracy. Really. If you really tie it all, we're going to tie it all together and really show y'all this is all just about one system. But let's start with something light. Something real, maybe not that light. I mean, it is.
It wasn't light. It was pretty.
I mean, it is violence, I guess.
So the black man and the black woman have finally come to blows.
on one of these podcasts. Look, when you have these podcasts, because let's be honest, black podcasting, I don't like to call this what we do a podcast. It's not really. It's more like a show, or I don't know. I don't like to call it that because we don't really debate other than between each other. We don't really talk about certain things. When you say podcast, let's be honest. Most people think of a relationship, especially black people. It's a relationships, the gender war, the colorism, the dating, the high value now is a thing. Oh, now you got
well, Joe Budden, that's a podcast, and he doesn't really talk about dating.
Well, he was a music podcast.
Okay,
he was music, but he trying to really move. It seemed like he's trying to go more into broadening his audience as well. So it is what it is. So when you see a group of niggas, even though not all these people in this thing is a nigga,
only four.
Only
well,
four,
3.
Man. When you see a group of niggas at a table with microphones, nothing good is coming of it for the most part. For the most part, nothing good is coming from this conversation. When you see a podcast that has more than 2-3 men, more than 2 or 3 women at a table with mics, nothing but chaos is going to ensue. And
but you know what? That's what they want, though, for this show, it seems. Fresh and Fit, they want their show to be chaos.
Yeah, Fresh and Fit. It's
a joke now.
They I don't know if he's been on there before. I feel like I've seen him on before, but Tommy Sotomayor.
He does anything for attention.
He's a what they call him. He's a shock jock. He went on their podcast, and to be honest with you, before I even saw what happened or heard about what happened, when I heard he was on it, I already knew
something's gonna pop off.
It may not have been violent, but it definitely was a argument that happened.
Wherever he goes, there seems to be chaos and drama on whatever platform he goes on.
And let me say this. Don't be surprised in another week or so, 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so, he's not going back and forth for Fresh and Fit. Do not be surprised if he don't cut ties with them.
Y'all didn't even check that shit that happened on there.
So don't be surprised if he and them are going back and forth with them.
This is just all theater.
It's always that. Let me just show y'all. I'm sure y'all already saw it, but we're just going to show this mess. And of course, the person he got into, like you said,
was a black woman.
These arguments finally led. I don't think this is the first fight on the podcast between a black man and a black woman
that actually got physical.
I don't think this is the first one. I would imagine if I actually looked, I would find another one.
Did she swing first though?
I don't know. We about to see
we'll
now.
See.
Let me just show y'all.
Just where I said I was from. You literally did. No, I did not. You told me that we were going on a party, man. Is the glue fucking with you? You just paid me. Do you hear me? This bitch is drunk and acting stupid. I'm not drunk. I'm dead ass not drunk. You dead ass drunk and stupid. I promise to God. That weed too tight. You need a different kind of glue. I'm not drunk right
Chris,
now.
Dumb son of a bitch. This bitch is being ignorant for no reason.
For no reason. No. He not finna try to play me on
Who's playing you, stupid bitch?
No, bitch, you fucking stupid.
Nobody's playing your cat suit thing. I'm the wrong nigga. I'm the wrong nigga.
So obviously, hold on. So violence ensued.
You know what? I have a problem with this because how many people have tried to get at Tommy Sotomayor, a black man in particular?
Let me tell you this. When he went, I think it was a New York.
Yeah, It was a Hebrew Israelite
No,
Semitic
it wasn't
thing.
Hebrew. I think it was a debate between the conscious community.
Let's call it conscious community. That's what it was.
The conscious community. And he went there, and he know those dudes are worshipers
Of the black woman. And
he went
them.
there, and the dude, maybe you could say it was a little bit cowardly because he kind of stole off from behind somebody. I don't know. But he got stole off, and he went out the door and called the cops.
I thought he ran in the bathroom or ran down the hallway.
Regardless, he ran. He got up out of there. Let me
Then
say it like
Corey
that.
tried to get at him.
Now, Corey rolled up on him. Corey Holcomb. Him and Corey had a beef because he went on Corey's show. Well, that was 2016, 2015, something like that. He went on the show, and I still think Tommy, I'm not going to get into the gossip. But Corey had beef with Tommy because he said he stole a slogan from him and put it on a t-shirt. So they went back and forth a little bit, and Corey said, when I see you, it's on site.
Then Tariq.
Hold on. Corey saw him in L.A., and he rolled up on him. He said, hey, what up, Tommy? And he said, Tommy turned around, put a camera on him, and said, hey, how you doing? He said, he started laughing and he drove off. Then Tariq, as you said.
Brought him the Coon Award. Vlad
That was
TV.
set up with Vlad TV. And also, Tariq had a character he called him, was it Crunchy?
Crunchy Black. That was bad for FBA, for his FBA thing right now. That's kind of bad.
So he kind of attacked Tommy.
Tariq did that.
But he was calling calling Tommy a coon. So you like when anything goes against him but it is what it is.
Yeah. I just wanted to show this clip of how he got up and was really ready to throw, even though I just go along with the theatrics.
Yeah, this is all fake.
That he got up and he's ready to throw balls with this black woman. But the other people, he didn't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. When Tariq came there, he was calm.
But yeah,
he set me up.
This is literally the black man and a black woman right now.
On podcast. We'll say on podcast on the internet.
Like, this is what it's coming to. Like,
coming to
blows. Like, they ready to fight one another.
We're not laughing at the possibility of him beating up this woman.
Exactly. We're laughing at the possibility
that this time I'm hoping
it's fake.
It's fake because allegedly the woman that he's arguing with, and I don't know if this is true. Like I said, this is just gossip.
She got flued out.
Apparently, he had her and her friend come out, but he only had relations with one of the women, and now they kind of argued on the show. I guess he brought her with him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I thought he would bring the other girl.
So, how do you get in a fight with a person you brought with you?
Yeah.
That made me think this is what their show is becoming. They bring people on and try to get a reaction. What's that other girl name? The doll chick?
Not Cash Doll. Asian Doll.
Asian Doll. She brought her on the show. They had a back and forth. It went a little viral, even though a lot of people don't even like her, so it didn't go that viral.
Yeah.
But I hope they know this shock jock. Hate me if you want to, just come watch me. That burns out at some point.
I think it's already burning out.
I don't know. It burns out some point, and people become. It's one thing for people to love you or hate you. You can get views and attention off of that. But when people become indifferent towards you and start to say, all right, I don't care, that's when it gets really bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, we just thought this is interesting.
I just thought this is what it's about to lead to. Not necessarily the fighting. I'm talking about people doing theatrics to make themselves pop more.
I think if you get a couple people in the right spaces, it might lead to some blows.
Yeah, the right people. I mean, that's anywhere. You get the right people in the room anywhere. It can go.
A
south.
couple women done called black men BBs.
Yeah, don't.
And if they see them, they already said it's on site.
Yeah, it's on site. So,
and the lady said.
Let me say this. I know what you're talking about. There's a dude who's hosting I don't even want to say the name. He was hosting a room for a certain demographic. I'm not gonna say the name.
I want to say a name, but I can't say her name.
No, not her. It's a group. We're not gonna say the name. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to listen to what they're gonna say. I'm not gonna listen. But it's like people was asking him, why would you even give these people a platform? He's like, I'm a journalist. I don't have to agree with you to know what the hell going on and write about it. I said, that's true. Even if you don't agree with something, you need to know what's going on so you can see what's coming down the pipeline.
It's so much animosity.
Yeah.
That I think it would be blow.
If that group, yes, 100% somebody would get smacked. And I'm not saying. I'm just saying, if that group got in a room with black men, somebody would get smacked.
And I think they would fight back.
I think. No, they wouldn't fight back. They would be every Negro in there arrested.
Oh, they'll pretend like they're gonna say, I want that. And then when they get there, they be ready for him here so they can call the police. And then we got him off, y'all. We got him off the. We finally got the black man off a podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, somebody was saying, she said, "Oh Lord, these podcasts got black men in the chokehold." But yeah, I'm good. Let's move on though. To another topic. We just want to get. This is where it's going. That whole thing. We don't really talk about the gender war and all that stuff, but
we leave that to the other channels to do that.
But when them doing that though, even if it's real or fake, it's going to lead to this thing going even further. So hopefully somebody's smart enough and get away from it. Week 3 of Black History Month. I'm just going to run down the line of some stuff that happened. And you just tell me how this month is going for our people. First story. Video of New Jersey officers breaking up teens' mall fight raises concerns about racial disparity. An investigation is underway into how officers handled a brawl between 2 teenagers at a mall in New Jersey. So it was a black teenager who was having a disagreement with a Hispanic or white teenager. I don't know if he's Hispanic or white. I thought they said he was Hispanic. And it led to a little fisticuffs. And the officer's reaction to it is not surprising. How they reacted to it tells you who they think is the real threat in the situation. Now, I saw that the black kid is 16 and the other kid is 18. But
he was bigger.
He was much bigger. Let's just see. I'm going to show y'all this article. 2 teens seen throwing punches at each other in Bridgewater Commons Mall appeared to get 2 different responses from officers who showed up. A black 8th grader, Jesus Christ, 8th grade.
When you hear the word 8th grade, that goes back to middle school.
Yes. So hold on.
How old? He's 16 in the 8th grade?
I don't think he's 16. I told you I read
14.
it. Let's see. A black 8th grader had 2 officers kneel on his back and handcuff him while the other teenager involved in the fight was seen sitting on a sofa. I was confused, like, why they saw me as a bad person, like me as the aggressor, said the 14-year-old Kyle.
Okay.
So 14.
I told you he was 14.
Kyle says the fight broke out after he stood up for a friend who was getting picked on by the other teen. This is why this dynamic is strange. He says seeing video of officers on top of him for nearly 30 seconds is scary and frustrating. If they don't know how to treat the situation and deal with the situation equally and fairly, they shouldn't be able to deal with the situation at all. Now, this is a 14-year-old.
That's what I'm about to say. This is a 14-year-old who is talking with more sense than a damn police officer.
The 14-year-old.
So that tells me that his parents have already sat him down and told him how to behave when he is in a situation with cops, or he knows what goes on and he's in that community.
Kyle's mom, Ebony, agrees. Maybe they should have broken up the fight and maybe set them aside and called their parents. No cuffs, no aggression, dealt with them like they were teenagers, she said. In a statement, the Bridgewater Police Department said, in part, we recognize that this video has made members of our community upset and are calling for an internal affairs investigation. The officers were able to respond quickly to this incident and stop it from escalating between a tip received from the community. Wait, well, it was a fight.
What this tells me is it goes back to that old saying that they see black men as much more mature and older
at a younger age
than they do other races.
Tamir Rice, the kid, he was 12 years old. And they said he looked like he was 21. I think he was 5. I forgot how tall he was. I think he was 5'6", 5'7". And the cop was like, he's 21. It's like, he was a tall 12-year-old. First off, his face
looks like a
12-year-old.
Like a 12-year-old.
But anyway, I'm not happy about it, and I don't want 2 cops to become unemployed, but that's what I would like. So she wants him to be fired. Yeah. Guy has been banned from the mall for 3 years. His mom says right now they are choosing not to say whether they feel the incident was racially motivated. Governor Phil Murphy tweeted Tuesday night saying he is deeply disturbed by what appears to be racially desperate treatment in the video. The governor addressed the incident again Wednesday, saying, although the investigation is still gathering facts, but I want to reiterate, I am deeply disturbed by what appears to be racially disparate treatment in the video. The NAACP of New Jersey released a statement saying, in part, it was disappointed to see still another police action irrefutably showing the disparate treatment of African Americans in our police institutions. The NAACP is calling for officers to be removed from their force pending an investigation. They're not going to be removed.
No, they're not going to be removed. They're going to make up some bullshit reason or excuse why they did what they did, even though when you watch the video, white, Hispanic, whatever he is. He was clearly the more aggressive. Are we about to watch it?
Yeah, I'm not going to show the fight itself because they won't allow it. So I'm just going to show the initial
Leading
confrontation and then the end. So, all right, here you go.
Right now. You go outside right now. Xander. No, right out there. Go right you're talking to an Andrew. Get up. Get up. Get up. Go outside right now. You go outside right now. You're talking to an individual. What are you going to do? You know I can have my face. Did you have my face?
All right, so
he was defending a white kid?
I don't know. He was defending his friend. So, I mean, it seemed like he's hanging around a certain artists. Now, watch this. All right, now this is the end of the the back and forth. Black kid kind of got the best of him. So at the end of the fight, he pushes him to the floor. He goes and is approaching to get on top of him, and the cops run up. Now, keep in mind, who's in the dominant position right here?
It was the whatever.
The white Hispanic kid is in the dominant position, but look how they react.
Chill. Brian, get out. Brian, leave. Holy shit.
Why are they still putting their knee on people? Like, what? They haven't learned.
No. They not going to stop putting their knee on people.
Why are you still doing this?
And she didn't even need to come over there and assist, actually.
So, as you can see, I'm going to finish playing it.
Holy shit. Oh, no.
Now, after they immediately ran over the Caucasian cop, or maybe Latino cop, I don't know what he is, maybe Mexican cop, I don't know. The male officer tackled and made sure he flipped over the black kid, put him in cuffs immediately, started putting him in cuffs immediately. The Caucasian female officer, she sat the other kid down, and said, wait
He
here.
no kid. He a grown-ass man. He 18 years old.
I'm just saying. Teenager. We'll just say that because they call them teenagers.
One of them is a teenager. One of them.
Are you sure he's 18?
I thought you said he was 18.
I told you, I read it, that he was 16, the other dude was 18, but it turns out he's 14.
So he might be 16.
So I don't know, that's why they said teenagers. They're both minors because they covered their faces in the official article.
Okay.
On the official news video. So the female officer told the other kid to just sit there and wait here. She didn't try to arrest him, nothing. She immediately left him, put her knee on the other kid's back.
And he was actually quite calm. He wasn't.
He didn't fight at all. He didn't resist.
But he
was more confused.
They have to make you feel
you're a threat.
You're a threat. So that's why they do that.
There's so much chaos going on. No, he just rolled over and said, "What?" So the officer immediately comes over, places her knee on his back, and helps the other officer arrest him. And it's like, now the white Hispanic kid, the bully, supposed to be the bullying situation. The friends are now around saying, "Oh, that's messed up. Because he's black." So now the other kid feels guilty. Like, why they not cuffing me? Now my friends are gonna look at me like I'm the one who got away with something.
Yeah.
Because he don't want that. So watch what he does.
Holy.
You see how nervous he's standing there nervous?
Fuck. Yo, it's because he's black. Racially motivated.
You see, he actually asked the officer there at the end to put him in cuffs. Look, he asked the officer. I'm sorry, he asked. People, you say ask versus ask.
AAV.
Yeah. I'm saying ax, AXE. But anyway, he asked the officer to put him in cuffs.
She's like, no, we're
because
fine,
he's in front
honey.
of his friends.
He want to seem tougher than what he is.
No, it's because he don't want guilt. He feels guilty. Like
he feels guilty, but he also wants to be like, I got put in handcuffs too. And the black guy like, no, I'm the one who got put in handcuffs. So I'm about this life. You ain't about this life.
So in this situation, the black kid is treated like the criminal, the aggressor.
It reminds me of like, I know this is nowhere near the situation, but it always goes back to Emmett Till.
Yeah, 14
years old, and they viewing this 14-year-old as an adult.
He's 14, and the officers are treating him like he could have beat.
It also goes back a little further than Emmett Till. The black kid that got the death penalty for, they accused him of what? Raping.
Stimmy.
He's accused of raping.
Yeah, to a white girl.
And he was how old?
12 or 14. Yeah.
They view you at when you reach puberty. By the way,
George Stimmy.
Mind you, they were over the age of 12. So when you reach puberty and able to produce, you're a man, and when you're black, and you are a threat.
Yes.
Because as I stated, one stroke will take out their whole damn line. And that's what they really worried about. And what's her name? What's the Dr. Francis
Wilson.
She said it's your
gun.
Is your
your
genital down there. That's your gun.
Yeah.
They had to go get an artificial gun to take your ass out. You got a real gun to take their ass out.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna show y'all more video because a lot of people saw this video and immediately said, "Oh, you know who? We don't know what happened before
the
or
whites,
after."
The Caucasians, and some of your damn coons.
Hold on.
Your Brandon Tatums.
Oh. Them two, Lord have mercy. But I'm trying to.
Your Candace Owens. Yeah.
I guess I could show the ending of what happened there. Him not being put in cuffs. Some people said, "Oh, the video cuts out. He might have got put in cuffs." But here's the rest of the video. Get on, Riley. Go.
Shit, nigga.
So after you put in cuffs,
she looked at him like you.
She's like, "Sit down.
Sit
Why would I
down,
put you in
man.
cuffs?"
Oh, put you in cuffs. You're white.
Or at least
we've got the nigger over here.
The nigger clearly was beating your ass.
Yeah,
so.
And he's like, "No, I got the best." No,
I was getting the best of him.
No,
and you stopped it.
he whooped your ass. It was clear, buddy.
He was going to beat you to death.
We saved you.
He was going to beat you to death. Please know that. But
they're savages.
Yeah, he has no control over his anger. He was going to keep going.
Did you not see the movie? I know your every family lets your kids see this movie.
All right, hold on. Let me make sure I find this video. All right. Now here's the clip of the other kid telling what happened. Go ahead and go here. Turn this down.
Who was not cuffed so she could assist her partner and then placed her knee over the black teen's neck.
It was wrong, and I knew that there was going to be problems when they did that. Why? Because they didn't go for me.
We found that teen, 15-year-old Joey, whose face we are not showing because of his age.
He's the teenager that was in the fight this weekend at the mall?
Yes, it was wrong. I don't know how they handled that.
Tuesday night, he told us, with his mother's permission, that he could not believe he wasn't also placed in cuffs.
She said stay put. That's all she said. I didn't understand why, if I'm being honest. I even offered to get handcuffed as well.
We also spoke with Sienna Freidinger and her mother Alicia Tuesday. Sienna recorded that mall
come on now, I can't
video and is.
It wasn't fair because the black kid was the only one who was getting tackled, and both officers laid on him. Joey could have gotten up and walked away.
I was horrified. I couldn't believe that a mall fight turned into something like this. I couldn't believe that both the police officers were on that young man, that black young man, and nothing was done with the other young man. And it almost.
Okay, video. All right, just went out. All right. But you get the point.
I was trying.
The other kid was like, you can put me in cuffs too.
That's what it's come to. The white people got to be begged to put in cuffs. Shit's sad.
And he was the bigger one. Like, he, even during the, when they were handcuffing the other kid, he just stood up over them, just stood up. He could have walked away if he wanted. It's like, he's the bigger one. And you just like, you good.
Sit down, have a rest.
And you know, there's certain people that's trying to say, well, the female officer handled it correctly. She did the soft approach. Blamed the male officer for being the one who was the aggressor. And like, well, she went over and put her knee on him and helped cuff him. Like,
so she was compassionate and understanding for her.
She could have told the other officer, there's no need for all that. Let him up.
No, she came over there and put her damn knee on his neck.
So yeah. So double standards. We're gonna get into another double standard right now. That's one of them. Two Americas.
I already know how Sha'carri Richardson gonna look when she an older woman.
Sha'carri Richardson sees a double standard in allowing Kamila to compete. U.S. sprinter Sha'carri Richardson is calling out Olympic and anti-doping officials after Russian skater Kamila was allowed to compete despite testing positive for a banned drug. Now, obviously, if you remember what happened last year, Sha'carri Richardson shot up in popularity. I mean, she just came out of nowhere like a rocket. She just took over sports media. It was ridiculous. It got to a point where you go, okay, what is this? Is this
Is they pushing her? Or
is she actually just going?
Is she actually this good, or she just is an asset?
Like, what's going on? So she comes out. They're building up all this momentum for her, and of course, it probably was because of the Olympics about to come around.
That's true.
The Olympics come, boom. I think it was a month before, maybe or something like that. She gets tested, caught doping. Now, when it first came out that she's doping, it was like, oh, is she on roids? She's taking, is she taking HGH? What is it? Something performance enhancing?
No,
it's weed.
Some reefer.
And people was like, oh, they thought, she get a slap on the wrist.
She was just smoking pot.
It was like, okay, this is Sha'carri Richardson. Y'all are making her the biggest name in sports right now. There's no way y'all gonna just not let her compete over weed.
She didn't compete.
We thought, a week of suspension, something.
And she had people like, what's his name?
Who?
What's his name?
Didn't her and Kanye
the one we
West?
Say we're gonna watch. The one we don't watch no more.
The dude who do videos?
We
don't watch no more.
He's a sport. Jason Whitlock.
Oh yeah.
You remember he was going in on Sha'carri?
Oh yeah.
We need to go to his pod. We need to see if he talked about. He talked about this.
He didn't talk about this because he probably, it is what it is. So she tested positive for weed. I thought there's no way they're gonna keep her out. They did. It became a big story, even bigger story.
And everybody's talking about holding. She need to be held accountable. Yeah.
So, Winter Olympics around now. This is for a figure skater. She tests positive for a performance enhancing drug. Helps your body heal after workouts and stuff faster. She tests positive. I don't even need to read the article to tell y'all what happened. I'm just gonna tell you. So Kamila Harris. Her name is Kamila.
You thinking about Kamila?
Kamila, I'm sorry. She tests positive for this drug. It's a performance enhancing drug, but it's a small trace. She tests positive for this drug in December, but it took the agency so long to tell them that she's positive, and she appealed. If you appeal, if you test, if you get hit with the doping thing, you can still compete. Sha'carri Richardson, when she got hit, she did not appeal it. She just took it on the chin. She took responsibility for it. So yeah, I did. I smoked weed. She could have appealed it, competed, and after the fact, after her appeal, if it would have failed and said no, you were on weed, then they would have stripped her of her medals, and everyone else that she competed with, they would have took their medals. That's why she didn't do it, because she knows she did smoke weed, and they're gonna end up taking my medal and everybody else's medal, and that's gonna be even bigger backlash.
And then you might get your ass whooped.
Yeah, somebody, one of them American girls might smack. It might get in that locker room. It might get.
I'm gonna smack the fire out of ass.
Yeah, it might go left in that locker room.
I'm a flatline.
Now this girl, she appealed because she's saying that the reason why the drug is in her system is because her grandfather has a medicine that he takes that has this in it, and that she maybe possibly she drunk from the same glass as him or something and got a little bit of
bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. Clearly, the reason why there was a small dosage in her is because it had been in her for a while, and they were getting her off of it. They just didn't clean it all out yet. She got hit, so they're gonna use that story. And it's not her, by the way. She's some young. I don't think she's like 14, something like that. It's her trainers, and this is Russia, by the way. Let's be honest. Everybody doping, even America. They all doping. Can you not get caught? Like they say, you ain't trying to win if you ain't cheating. Everybody doping. America, Jamaica, China, Russia.
Negroes, we don't have to dope.
Everybody doping. What's his name? Tyson Gate got popped, didn't he?
Negroes, we don't have to dope.
Oh, hey, you ain't heard that, did you? Look the thing up. So yeah,
we don't have to dope.
People are comparing these situations. It's not really comparable because that girl appealed. That's why she's able to compete. Sha'carri didn't appeal. Now, another thing is, it wasn't the Olympic committee, doping committee, that kept her out. It was the United States. They didn't fight to keep her in. The USA did not fight to keep Sha'carri Richardson in the Olympics.
We have to ask why.
They allowed them to ban her for a month. They allowed that. So as much as we could say, it's a double standard, I can make an argument that this shouldn't be a rule. If you hit with a doping and you appeal, you still have to sit out. You should be able to compete. So it is what it is, but that's the rules of the situation. So she said that, and that's what they came out with. with this. The committee came out and said that this happened in December, so they had time for her to give an appeal and to set things straight. They made every excuse as to why she was able to do it, even though it's still wrong. They're literally going against their own policy by letting her do it.
We know why they did it. We don't have to read the article to know why they did it.
So, yeah, a complaint issued by Sha'carri Richardson has captured the attention of the International Olympics Committee just ahead of the Summer Olympics. Track star Sha'carri Richardson made waves as she reportedly poised to take home a medal. Unfortunately, during the trials, Richardson tested positive for marijuana and suspended for 1 month. The runner took accountability and shared that she had been stressed because her mother and had recently passed away, but she was determined to shine in her next opportunity. The story once again captured afternoon after 15-year-old Russian skater Kamila tested positive for a aging drug, trimethazine. According to reports, tested positive back in December ahead of the Winter Olympics, but news as a result was only recently shared publicly. Richardson came forward, comparing her situation to hers and asking why she wasn't allowed to compete while the team was. The International Committee responded. They claimed the two incidents are vastly different. Richardson passed a positive doping test was discovered on 19th of June, and the result was received before the start of the Olympics. She was suspended for a month. This is nothing in common between the two cases, the committee reportedly stated. This game, which is not concluded, concerns an issue in December. She is in the center of a lot of speculation. It must be very tough for her. She's 14, so I get why they talking like that. She's 15, I'm sorry. So I get why they trying to.
No, shit ain't tough for her. Her trainers was giving her that shit.
They
and she know they was giving her that shit, so I don't feel bad for her. No.
What about? You say you don't feel bad for her?
No, I don't feel bad for her. What about Emmett Till? 14-year-old. They don't feel bad for his ass. So
did you just compare her being able to do an event, testing positive for a performance-enhancing drug, and took Emmett Till getting murdered?
Feeling bad for her. I don't feel bad for her. I feel bad for people that are.
No, I didn't say I feel bad. I said they're trying to talk softly around her because she's a kid.
No, miss me with the bullshit. We don't want to talk softly around it. Her fucking ass was taking enhancement drugs, and she knew what she was doing. She's aware.
15, man.
She's 15 years old. Exactly. She's 15 years old. She's not a 5-year-old. She's
now
not
it goes back to Dave Chappelle's joke. How old is 15?
Are you 15? You're 15 years old. You well enough to know what you're doing and what you're putting in your body.
In his joke, he described a 8-year-old girl? Was it? A black girl who was able to escape from a crack house versus a 15-year-old white girl who was stuck in a house 2 blocks from her own house. She couldn't get out of that somehow. And then a black boy who was wrestling with his friend and ended up killing him with a move, and he got sentenced to a lot of years in prison. He was 15. It's like, how old is 15? I can go to prison at 15, but I can't make decisions at 15.
You can make decisions at 15 years old.
So, do we blame this skater? Do
yes,
we say
blame
she was
her.
doping, not her trainers was doping her?
She was doping and her trainings were doping her.
All right.
Both.
You ain't gonna let up on that. So.
No, I'm not.
The next one, Black History Month. Judge tosses Gorge Zimmerman's lawsuit against Trayvon Martin's parents. A judge in Florida has dismissed a defamation conspiracy lawsuit former neighbor White's volunteer
Wow.
Gorge Zimmerman had filed against the parents of Trayvon Martin, the teen he fatally shot almost a decade ago. How crazy is it that he had the audacity, the gall, to even sue them? Like, how does he even have the balls to even sue them? I think he sued them for $100 million or something like that.
You know what? Florida got some crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
If only they would use that craziness the way they should use that craziness. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna leave it
I
at
know
that.
you're going. I know you're going. I caught it. I'm picking up what you're setting down. A judge in Florida has dismissed a defamation. I already read that. Sorry. Judge John Cooper of Tallahassee dismissed all counts against all defendants in a lawsuit filed by Zimmerman against Martin's parents, Fulton and Tracy Martin, attorney Ben Crump, who had represented the family, and others. He sued them too.
He sued Ben Crump too?
All of them. In his order, the judge wrote that Zimmerman had failed to show any fraudulent representation and said any further arguments in the case would be futile. There is no claim for conspiracy to defraud if there is no adequately stated claim for fraud, Cooper wrote in the order filed more than 2 weeks ago.
Why is Gorge Zimmerman, why is he protected? I feel like he's protected.
Well, I remember when people were going in on dudes in Florida because of all that killing going on. People were like, wait, why you ain't got him?
Because he's protected.
They're like, man, he's not around here. He's not here. Remember he almost got killed in a
Did you say that he was
he almost got killed in a traffic stop?
Uh-huh.
The white dude almost shot him in the head. He shot at him and a bullet scratched him by the head. And it was like, how did he almost kill him? And it really proved that this man has anger problems if y'all pulling out guns in road rage situations.
Yeah. I mean, if that wasn't enough proof, I don't know what would be.
And another conspiracy, since this name is episode Conspiracy, they say that's not George Zimmerman.
Yeah, a lot of people said George Zimmerman has been replaced.
That's not him. Allegedly, that was an operative who was set to cause chaos. That dude is gone. This dude is a, what do you call it? He is a agent of chaos. His job is to just create turmoil. That's why he had the audacity to sue the parents of the kid that he killed. Like, what? You would just stay away from that situation. But, you know, then he sold the gun that he shot him with. And who wants to buy that? Sick people.
Sick white people. Man.
Brittany died. Actually, I think he said he's Cuban.
That bought it?
George Zimmerman.
No, George, it says down there, his father is white and his mother is Hispanic.
Yeah.
So he's white.
I mean, I thought his mother is Cuban.
Cuban? No, he's white.
Hispanic is Cuban, ain't it?
Yeah, but he's white.
Okay, I see. According to Zimmerman lawsuit, Brittany Diamond Eugene didn't want to testify that she had been talking to Martin before he was killed. So her half sister, Rochelle Gentile, pretended that she was talking to the team before he was fatally shot. Gentile ended up testifying at Zimmerman's 2013 trial at Stanford. And that's why they lost the case. It was just so much dumb stuff happened. The girl who was in the courtroom wasn't the one who actually talked to him. The other girl didn't want to go to court. So it led to so many holes because she obviously didn't talk to him. So there's no way she should have ended up on that stand.
So she went and pretended to be somebody else?
She pretended that she was the one on the phone. And you go, why would you? And that's how he got off.
That sounds like that was the only way.
That's one of the ways he got off. That should have been an open and shut case, but you know.
So that's her fault then.
It's not just her. Like I said, it was one of the things, not the main thing. The lawsuit claimed that Trayvon Martin's parents, along with Crump, participated in the conspiracy in an effort to get charges filed against Zimmerman. Have him tried and destroyed his goodwill and reputation in the community. Goodwill, reputation. Zimmerman also claimed that defendants portrayed him as a racist murderer who racially profiled Martin. Martin was black, Zimmerman's father was white, and his mother Hispanic. Zimmerman was acquitted during 2013 trial, which focused attention on race in Florida's Stand Your Ground self-defense law that allows people to use force without retreating if they feel threatened. The case was originally filed in 2019 in state court in Central Florida's Polk County, but was later transferred to state court in Tallahassee to accommodate some of the participants. This whole case was bullshit, man. We're not even getting to the George Zimmerman thing. But the fact that he even, once again, I already made my conspiracy about him, who I think he is, so I'm just going to move on.
Yep.
Yeah, I already know who I think he is. He's an agent of chaos. Next up. Black History Month. Kim Potter sentenced to 2 years in Duante Wright's death. Kim Potter, the former suburban Minneapolis police officer who says she confused her handgun for her taser when she fatally shot Duante Wright, was sentenced Friday to 2 years in prison.
Are we shocked?
2 damn years.
And she only got the 2 years because he's biracial. If he would have been full-blooded black, she would have been acquitted.
Kim Potter, former suburban Minneapolis police officer. Wright's family denounced the sentence. Wright's family denounced the sentence as too lenient and accused the judge of giving more consideration to the white officer than the black victim, biracial victim. Potter was convinced in December of first and second-degree manslaughter in April, killing a Wright, a 20-year-old black motorist. She was sentenced only to more serious charges in accordance to the state law. Wright's mother, Katie Wright, said after the sentencing that Porter murdered my son, adding today as the justice system murdered him all over again. She also accused the judge of being taken in by white woman tears after Porter cried during her pre-sentencing statement.
Hold on, a white woman told the judge that another white woman's been taken in by white woman tears?
Okay. Speaking before the sentence was imposed, a tearful Wright said she would never forgive poor Potter and that she would refer to her only as the defendant because Porter only referred to her son as the driver at trial. See this.
Of this court, that you shall be committed to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 24 months.
I am so sorry that I brought the death of your son, father, brother, uncle, grandson, nephew, and the rest of your family.
Your father murdered my son, and he died April 11th. Today, the justice system murdered him all over again.
You already know the shooting. You want to see that again. 2 years, and she get up there and I'm sorry, I took your son.
Fake ass 2 years.
They always do that to make sure they get more lenient sentencing. So now let's see how long it take when she go to jail before she appeal the 2 years. How long it take her to appeal that?
She only gonna do a year.
Then she gonna go for probation.
Get her out. She gonna get out for good behavior.
How long before she appeal it though? Before she even fight the 2 years?
Oh, you mean like Amber Geiger?
Yeah,
who was so
distraught, and then the sentencing happened, and like a week later,
and the younger brother was hoping to God she got an appeal, so he could take her to a day's end.
Look, man, I'm not no person who's depraved, but you can't tell me you didn't watch that case, and the way he hugged that woman, didn't think that boy.
Man, if I was his brother, I'd come back.
You dirty dog.
You dirty, rotten son of a bitch.
What he did, now I can't say the judge giving, was she wiping her hair down?
No,
sure?
that was the
no, that was the judge. No, the judge gave her a Bible.
The judge gave her a Bible.
The bailiff
was
combing her hair.
Just like a good old mammy. Brushing those locks.
Oh,
saying, Lord, I wish my hair would just brush like this and then get caught in a comb.
You know you went too far. You went too far. All right, you laughing. You know you went too far. But next one, let's go ahead. I'm just gonna show this one right quick. This is the one you brought up.
It's speechless.
Black History Month.
Over a toy.
It's insane. Look at this.
And they all come at. How are all these cases, besides the Duante Wright, coming back and revisiting one? This happened in what, 2000 and?
I had like 17,
17,
18, something like that. Florida Appeals Court overturns conviction of Miami police officer who shot autistic man's caretaker. Remember the man?
Another Hispanic.
Who was laying on the ground to make sure he didn't get shot. And they
still
shot him.
The bullet bounced off.
They shot twice at the disabled dude. And 3 times. And one of the bullets hit him and ricocheted.
And he asked
him.
And the black man asked the police officer, "Why did you shoot me?"
He said, "I don't know."
He said, "I don't know."
Lord, I just had to shoot you. I'm sorry.
You were black.
A South Florida appeals court Wednesday overturned the conviction of former North Miami Police Department officer who was found guilty of negligence of shooting an autistic man's caretaker in 2016, court documents show. Florida's 3rd District Court of Appeals overturned the conviction for misdemeanor culpable negligence for Jonathan after determining it was invalid because prosecutors did not allow testimony during the June 2019 trial from the SWAT commander who trained him, the documents show. In a statement emailed to CNN, Florida State Attorney Catherine Fernandez Rundell said the decision is disappointing to all who believe that this shooting incident was unnecessary and incorrect. The officers may ask the appeals court for a rehearing. The statement continued. Eric and Anthony Bruno, attorneys for Alita, told CNN, "We look forward to the state dropping the charges or in the alternate to Mr. For him being found not guilty." How is he not guilty? Like, so he didn't do anything wrong.
He thought it was a hostage situation.
The man had his hands up. He's telling you, he's my, I'm his caretaker. It's not dangerous.
It was a toy gun.
It wasn't a toy gun, was it?
It was a toy. We don't know what it was. It was a toy.
It was a shiny toy. He just said he's not dangerous to anybody. I'm his caretaker. He's laying flat on the ground with his hands up.
And the officer, I think he was on the phone, with whatever it was, and they told him you do not fire, and he still fired.
It's right here. In June 2016, it was 2016. Adia was one of the 13 officers who responded to a call about a man with a gun. Court documents show when officers arrived, they encountered Rio Soto, a man with severe development disabilities, and his caretaker, Charles Kinsey, in the middle of an intersection, according to the court documents. Rio Soto was rocking back and forth and playing with a silver toy truck. Court documents said Kinsey told the first two officers who arrived on Rio Soto had a toy. He arrived sometime after that, and some officers on the scene said it appeared that the toy was a gun. So he already told you it's a toy.
So why would y'all come to what was there to come to if it's a toy?
So he tell you it's a toy. Other officers come on the scene and you telling them, yeah, like a gun. But he just told you.
Why do everything look like a gun to these police officers? They are obsessed with guns.
Lawyers argue that he thought he was observing a hostage situation. He shot at Rio Soto's 3 times but missed, hitting Kinsey once. Okay, hold on. So you shot at the person you thought was the person who had a gun
Which
3
was
times.
The autistic person holding the gun.
But you shot the black dude laying down on the ground.
Somehow the bullet still managed to hit the black man.
So
because
that's negligence right there.
Because black men bodies are meant to take bullets.
Don't you dare say it. He took shots because he believed the hostage was in danger, but you shot the hostage. He is elated by the appeals court decision and wants to return to work as a law enforcement officer.
Wow, and he think he should come back as a law enforcement? Wow.
An affidavit from July 2016 shooting shows Rio Soto had ventured into the street outside a home for people with mental disabilities. Kinsey followed him in an attempt to bring him back inside. Rio Soto sat down in the street and was playing with a silver toy truck where a passerby saw through. Passerby thought may have been a gun and called armed police. And armed forces made somebody was driving by and thought they saw a gun and called.
That's how it always is.
Why are you?
Somebody always thought they always thinking they always thinking they saw something.
As armed officers made their way into closer position, Kinsey laid down on the ground with his hands in the air, yelling at police that there is no threat, according to the cell phone footage of the incident. All he has is a toy truck in his hands. A toy truck, Kinsey said in the video. I am a behavioral tech at the group home. One officer about 15, 20 feet away heard Kinsey's yelling and said over the radio to use caution because the person advised that it is a toy. A minute later, the officer said over the radio that he had a visual that the item did not appear to be a firearm. So they know it's not a gun. Shortly after that, he shot 3 times according to... So the man is saying it's not a gun. The other officers get a look and say, on their radio, yeah, I don't think it's a weapon. And he shoots 3 times.
But he's still not guilty.
He was charged in 2017 with 2 felony counts of attempted manslaughter with a deadly weapon, 1 misdemeanor count of culpable negligence for injuring Kinsey, and 1 misdemeanor count of culpable negligence for endangering Rio Soto, according to court documents. In March 2019, a jury acquitted him of the misdemeanor culpable negligence charge relating to Rio Soto. How you get... Because he thought the toy was a gun, but he was told by 2 separate entities, the guy who's right next to him and other officers. How is he not at fault at that point?
Seemed like he just wanted to shoot a gun.
However, a mistrial was declared because the jury did not reach the verdict for the remaining 3 charges, court documents show. During that trial in 2019, Ardetta was acquitted of 2 attempted manslaughter counts, but convicted of misdemeanor culpable negligence according to the court documents.
Well, when your gun is shooting blanks, I guess you like to shoot the real gun.
Oh, Lordy, Lord.
Oh, they pulled out. Oh, man.
All right, let's move on. Like history month. NFL taps ex-attorney general Loretta Lynch
She was
to
ready
fight
to lynch
Flores
somebody.
race bias suit. Lynch. Her name is Lynch.
She gonna lynch Flores.
This is it's a legal lynching.
Yep, she ready to lynch Brian
Court
Flores.
lynching. Lynch, a partner at Paul West Refined, Wharton and Garrison, is working with the law firm's chairman Brad Karp on the litigation, according to 4 sources familiar with the situation.
So you have to ask, why would they go get a black person.
Because we got somebody
this.
accusing us of being racist. When let's hire a black person.
So why you don't think people gonna see the options and go, you went and got this black woman because you have a racist. You're dealing with a racist case.
Can't prove it though. You can't prove their intent.
Yes, I can tell you what their fucking intent is.
We know
that's what their intent is.
The National Football League has hired former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch to defend his high-profile race discrimination case filed earlier this month by former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores.
And she ain't shit for taking the case.
The Dolphins also named a defendant in the Flores case, and their real estate billionaire owner Stephen Ross have turned to Quinn Emanuel and Sullivan litigation. William Bark, the sources said. I want to get down to this right here, though. Flores, who is black and Hispanic, was fired by the Dolphins in January, was not subsequently chosen to fill several NFL coaching jobs open. His complaint cited statements from some league executives, including attorney and chief diversity and inclusion officer Jonathan Bean, about NFL needing to do more for minorities.
So wait a minute. They're labeling him as black and Hispanic?
Yeah. Yeah. So one of his parents is Hispanic and one of them is black.
No, they're both from Honduran.
Okay.
So they're calling one a black
Honduran, I guess.
And one is a Hispanic.
Honduran. So I guess she must be Spaniard, more Spanish, I guess.
I think they both are what you would call a black Honduran. They both are black Honduran.
Well, they saying he black and Hispanic, so I don't know. Flores is represented by Douglas Wigor, the New York trial lawyer behind bombshell discrimination and harassment lawsuits against Fox News, disgraced film producer Harvey Weinstein, and Goldman Sachs Group Inc. John Velasquez is co-counsel to Flores. Both lawyers said Flores wasn't hired this month by the Houston Texans to fill their head coaching vacancy because of the suits. Now I just want to get down to here. Legal connections. The NFL has enjoyed a long-time relationship with Paul West, which since 2007 had a role of nearly 25% of all cases involving the league in U.S. federal courts. According to Bloomberg Law data, Paul West Carp has for years handled concussion and benefits litigation for the NFL. He also leads the Wall Street firm, which is among the most profitable in the country. Lynch ran the Justice Department for 2 years during the Obama administration and joined Paul West in 2019.
That tells me all I need to know.
She was tapped by the New York-based NFL in late 2020 to work on the inquiry into claims of misconduct involving owners of what was then called the Washington football team. So that sex trafficking they was accused of. So she was hired for that too. To defend the NFL, I guess, or to investigate the NFL, or be a defender of the NFL for those women, those cheerleaders who were suing. The team controlled by Daniel Snyder and formerly known as the Redskins adopted the Commander's nickname earlier this month. We don't need to know all that. Paul West also has ties to the Dolphins, having handled a bullying investigation for the team in 2014 that found some players used homophobic and racial slurs around the team. I forgot, it was a white guy and a black guy, and the white guy was calling the black guy a gay and all that stuff. Yeah, he was bullying him. And he went to the team and said something. It led to a big thing in NFL. The white guy, he kind of bounced around the league, and the black guy kind of was out of the league at some point. It was like bullying in the NFL. Like, just do something to the dude. Beat his ass.
They're probably about to say he let him bully him.
But it is what it is.
Niggas are changing.
So she helped defend that case. I forgot the guy's name. So basically, they already have ties to him with the Dolphins. This firm. But yeah, they went and got Loretta Lynch to defend them. But Loretta Lynch also defend McDonald's and their racial discrimination cases. And their discrimination cases, should I say.
So she's the token black they pull out to defend them when they have
she just want her money.
Racist bias suits.
She just want her money. You pay her good money, she'll do the case. It is what it is. Look, man, lawyers are lawyers for a reason. There's a reason why people have a certain stereotype about lawyers.
Oh, liars?
Exactly. Their job is to win.
The movie Liar, Liar.
And nobody lies more than a defense attorney. Oh my God, defense attorney? They could literally be representing somebody who is a serial killer. They will find a way to make them not as bad. Their job is to make you win, to make your penalty against you as low as possible. So it is what it is. But then the defense attorneys are really good when the person that's been accused is innocent. So you need defense attorneys, but they do some wicked shit sometimes. So that's her decision. The second you saw that Obama name,
I was done.
It was like, oh, we already know what this is about. Let me show you. I'm going to show you this video right quick. I saw this.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Look at this.
MK.
Y'all, a high school had a walkout today, and this little girl had said this.
I am so glad that years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King, the first black man, ended slavery. Because if not, people would be whipped every day.
You saw the girl with the brain? She was like, what story was that?
So I'm showing it because critical race theory. How does this girl think Martin Luther King ended slavery? You know why? Because white people make Martin Luther King, or at least the false Martin Luther King they've created, the epitome of black people.
He is the focus of Black History Month.
Exactly.
And so people started being like, okay, there's other.
So when they say slavery and Martin Luther King, so they go, well, he must have ended slavery.
No, that nigga,
nigga was
I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
I already know where you want to go with it.
I'm not gonna disrespect Martin Luther King during Black History Month.
Shit.
I ain't gonna do like Rihanna did, put gold teeth on his ass.
Before I go to the next story, it's some disgusting stuff. Let me make sure I got everything I need. I might should put it after this, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'm gonna move it back. There's some nasty stuff. We're just gonna jump to this and we'll get to the other story after this. Now this has nothing to do with Black History Month. This is just stories that you should keep an eye on.
How you gonna stop people from the movie?
Oh, they can do it. Hold on. They can't see it. Look at this. Yeah, you see that? You see that right? Hold on. Okay, there we go. MoviePass will track people's eyes through their phone cameras to make sure they don't look away from ads.
How you gonna keep me from looking away?
Hold on. MoviePass, a service that lets users watch movies inexpensively but shut down in 2019, is returning as an app that will track users' eyes when they watch adverts. The new service will use facial recognition and eye tracking technology to ensure that viewers' eyes are looking at promoted content in exchange for access to films. It's a way to close the loop and make it far more efficient of a system, co-founder Stacy Spike said. I want to be able to see it for free. Advertisers have put a pre-show together, not unlike what you normally see when you go to a movie theater, but this is customized for you. The tracking will happen only on the user's device, with the digital currency then going to a virtual wallet. The facial recognition algorithm using the phone's camera will make sure the user is not ignoring the advert. As I'm looking at it, it's playing back, but if I stop and I'm not paying attention to it, it actually pauses the content. We had an early version of this where you know what happened. People put the phone down and left and didn't pay attention to it. Right now, 70% of people at advertising is unseen. This is a way that advertisers get the impact they're looking for, but you're also getting the impact yourself. In the future, people will be able to buy products that are advertised to them through a MoviePass app and earn more credits to watch more films. It is reported that this technology will be available in the summer. MoviePass shut down in September 2019 after 2 years following a price drop in the subscription plan that let users buy a movie ticket per day for only $10 per month. That decision, to the financial detriment of the company, came after analysis firm Helios and Matheson purchased a majority share in the company and fired Mr. Spikes. Mr. Spikes said the new MoviePass will be powered by a Web3 technology. Web3 has been characterized by advocates as a mesh of blockchain technology such as cryptocurrencies and NFTs that will become the next iteration of the internet. Others have criticized it as a power grab by venture capitalists. One of the claimed benefits of Web3 is that users can have power over how a digital service is run. For MoviePass, that would be through users being able to hold partial ownership of the company in most premium tier, including a lifetime subscription. Mr. Spike said he intended to run the business like a co-op. All right.
Getting weirder and weirder.
If you remember back, Black Mirror, they had an episode where these people were in a room and they had adverts around them 24/7. If you look away, you lose points. If you mute it, as you can see here, it calls you points. And you gain points by watching the adverts. That's all you did. Watch adverts. I think, if I'm not mistaken, nobody really had a job. You just watch adverts and work out and eat, obviously. It was like prison, it was a prison system where you were stuck watching adverts. Now, in this show, Daniel Kaluuya, he was the character. He gave his points away to another girl to be a celebrity, but she ended up becoming, if I'm not mistaken, I remember it all the way, she became a porn star or something. So he gave her all this social credit, and she took it and she became a porn star. But the point is, this is leading, we talked about them getting rid of cash, right?
Cashless society.
They're going away from cash. I know somebody, I could tell you now, that said that they can't even use cash to pay their rent. They put the money on a card, or they want a check. Not even a money order.
Cashier check.
Yeah, not even a money order.
No money orders anymore.
Check. So a check, or they want the money on a card. They want no cash.
I think with money orders, I think you can only get up to a certain amount, and you have to get 2.
Yeah.
So that's why they're saying, no, you have to get a cashier's check from your bank.
So they're moving away from cash, and we're going to get into that later, how the money system is about to make a big change this year. So now they're trying to, this is the type of stuff they're adding. Oh, and by the way, with the painting that's going on and the mandates and all that stuff, how they have started bringing in the pass. So you need a pass to get in this building. So they've already conditioned people to, this exists. Even if they taking all the mandates down right now, we know. But it's in people's brains now. It exists. So when they implement something like it in the future, people are going to say, oh, this is nothing new. We had this then. That's the point of all this. To set the tone for what's coming, reel it back, and then introduce it properly later.
It's not over with.
Oh, no.
By far.
We're going to go further into that later. I want to show this, though. Let me see this one right here. Yeah, go here. New Biden Department of Energy hire is a non-binary drag queen and asset, says queer activist. So isn't the health secretary or something like that? Isn't that a transgender?
Then you got Buttigieg, who is a homosexual for
now
the
you have a
transportation department.
Now you have a literal drag queen.
They're preparing the White House for the ultimate person, the president.
Don't say it.
Michelle.
Oh Lord. Don't do it. No, don't do it.
That's what they're getting it ready for. I'm telling you, that's what they're getting it ready for. This is absolutely ridiculous. It don't make, they're way too fucking woke. This is just ridiculous. But and remember the Virginia? Was it the Virginia? You remember Virginia? It was a tranny that won.
It's not Virginia. That was
where was that at?
I forgot.
But you know who I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about
the big goofy mother looking tranny.
Yeah.
That won.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, they just getting it. They're getting it ready to go for somebody.
It seems President Joe Biden made history last month. That's when Sam Brinton announced the administration had hired them as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Spent Fuel and Waste Distribution in the Office of Nuclear Energy for the Department of Energy. Damn. How many subcategories is that? Okay.
They reading books?
They said they just created a job for him. He said he announced that the administration had hired them as Deputy Assistant Secretary.
Hired them.
I guess that's what their name is.
So that's multiple people. So that means that they have mental issues. Oh, are we reading into this? If somebody identifies as they, that means that's more than one being.
Listen, that's when Sam Brinton announced the administration had hired them.
Hired them? So there's multiple people.
Wait. Had hired them as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Spent Fuel Waste Distribution in the Office of Nuclear Energy of the Department of Energy. Damn, like you had a subcategory of a job.
So these non-binary people who don't identify themselves as anything, that tells me that they have multiple spirits in them.
Yeah.
And they don't know who's going to come out at any time. So they don't want to be labeled as a male, female. They don't want to be labeled as a homosexual. They just they just like, I don't know who's gonna pop up, so I'd rather just be labeled as them.
What's that saying they go? We are, what's that how you said? We are legion.
Yeah.
They call themselves we, them, they. That's one person now. One person can call themselves they, them, we. It's like.
That's multiple people that's inside of you.
Brenton, like many other people quoted in our article, uses the pronouns they and them, and maybe the first openly gender fluid person in federal government leadership.
What do you mean by when they say gender fluid?
Huh?
Why did he use the term gender fluid?
They don't have a gender.
When I think of fluid, I don't think. Anyway, I'm gonna let it go.
Yes, I know it won't be easy. Yes, I realize this is an enormous challenge. Yes, I am ready to take it on. They wrote at the time. The Department of Energy did not respond to Yahoo Life request for comment. They didn't even respond. Brenton's years-long career in nuclear waste management, climate change, LGBT activism, and youth mentorship, including stints as a Global Zero and Trevor Project and Deep Isolation, a company of researchers and scientists advancing safer methods for nuclear waste disposal, is well documented as the activism and kink Lord.
Look at that. Look at that shit. So that's a man with a dress on. This is the Baphomet. This is a man with a beard. Now why would you gonna dress up as a woman, have a beard, put lipstick on, put a dress on, but still like a man? That's fucking chaos. That's confusion.
Yeah. Now let's get to the real nasty shit. This next, I apologize in advance for showing this.
This is when you say, fuck it.
Just take them out.
I'm just gonna have to do some time.
Teacher admits to feeding students cupcakes laced with her husband's semen.
Even when you just
kids
talking about it, just make you want to just.
Cynthia Perkins and her now ex-husband Dennis Perkins were both arrested in October 2019 and charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault, 60 counts of producing porn involving a juvenile under the age of 13, and with a slew of other child sex crime charges. Now, the reason why I'm showing this is because I had a theory, and you can attest to this, why I think this epidemic, really, of women laying with these young boys in these schools. Nobody's talking about it. It's like thousands of cases.
We're talking about the ones that are married.
Yeah, particularly the ones that are married, but it's happened with the non-married too, but particularly with the married ones. The married ones. I believe, because in all those cases, the wife will be laying around with a teenager, sometimes even a 12, 13-year-old or younger. She'll get caught because the boy will tell, and then the husband will stand by the wife, and I'll be like, you a pedo.
Yeah.
And your wife was luring boys to you.
She's a Pied Piper.
I've been saying this for years. These women in these schools are luring these boys, because that's mainly who it is, to these men, their husbands. Their husbands are pedophiles. But the woman takes the rap for it, even though they're just as guilty.
Mm-hmm.
A school teacher in Louisiana who reportedly has admitted to lacing cupcakes with her husband's sperm feeding to students now faces a sentence of 41 years in prison. The Associated Press reports Cynthia Perkins, I already read all that. Cynthia was reportedly a teacher at Livingston Parish, while her husband Dennis was a Livingston Parish sheriff deputy at the time of the arrest. According to WBRZ News, Dennis was fired by the department after his initial arrest, and Cynthia resigned from her position as a teacher shortly after her arrest as well. Initially, the former teacher pleaded innocence to her various child sex crime charges, but now has reached a plea deal with prosecutors and pled guilty to 3 of the charges on Monday. How do you even get away with that? Today, Cynthia Perkins admitted to her crimes and pled guilty in court.
She should get 41 years too. She the one that put his sperm in the damn cupcake.
That's what I'm saying. Per her plea agreement, Cynthia reportedly admits she assisted her husband in sexually assaulting a juvenile, helped her husband film a juvenile bathing, and also admitted to lacing cupcakes with then-husband's sperm before feeding them to school children. Cynthia will also testify against her former husband as per the plea deal, according to Louisiana Assistant Attorney General
He
Bill.
shouldn't get out of shit.
Cynthia reportedly filed for divorce from Dennis after they were both arrested, saying she was manipulated by him into committing the child sex crimes.
They're always manipulated.
Her attorney reportedly maintained Dennis was the mastermind behind the couple's criminal activity. He's the real monster. That's what she wants to make clear. It's not about shifting blame. She took responsibility today. I mean, that's what she did. but she looks forward going after the real monster. One of the attorneys said. That's what I mean about defense.
That's why women are not held accountable in this society.
That's what I mean about defense attorneys can be pieces of shit. Because you know what this woman is, and yeah, you're going to try to flip the blame on her husband.
This is why women are not held accountable in this society.
She
should get the same amount of time. She's a pedo too.
Yes, you fed them to the kids. You brought the kids to him.
If that would have been my mama and she fed.
No, we're not even getting to that. Because
he ain't getting no 41 years.
He ain't making it. Neither one of them going to prison. When I say they ain't going to prison, because they're not going to be around no more. Prosecutors reportedly say the 68 charges Cynthia did not plead guilty to will be dismissed. How is that fair? But she still faces 41-year prison sentence. A judge has set her sentencing date for Friday.
She's not going to get 41 years. They're going to give her 5 years.
Dennis Perkins, who maintains a not guilty plea to his charge, reportedly has a trial set to start on May 9th, 2022.
And he has no remorse for what he did.
Yeah. Sick. I'm making the point. I've been saying for years, the reason why these women in these schools are having these sexual relations with the young boys, and it's such a high rate, they're married, most of them are married, is because their husbands are pedophiles. That's why they stick by them when they get caught.
So, people who are listening to this case should go even beyond this case. Yeah. You have to imagine, when you go out and you go to, you'll say your local grocery stores and you buy cupcakes and muffins. Who is in the bag making this shit? Did the baker's husband feel real freaky this morning and say, "Hey, take some of my and add it to your damn cake batter this morning"? And she goes, "Okay." Like people are sick and they get off that shit. That's why I stick to I just eat some damn wraps. I'm scared to know what they put in the fucking wraps before they get put here. You literally gonna have to start making your own food. Because people are going to get more wickeder and more lustful and more sinful in this society, and they're going to be doing all sorts of shit.
Like this is a level of depravity. They probably were a few months away from killing one of these kids. They so far gone. They were a very short time away from killing one of these kids. Who knows? They might have did.
You would have to say what person would take that shit and throw it in some cupcake mix and then serve it to kids. We talking about children, let alone adults. What was going on in y'all head that morning?
It's
and they sitting there getting a kick out of these little kids eating these cupcakes.
I'm telling you, they were very short. They might have already did it, but they were a very short time away from killing one of those kids. They were far down the road. All right. I guess we can go to the next topic now. Oh, hold on. So that's kind of just. Let me just go ahead and just take a little break right quick. We'll be right back, y'all. All right, we're back. Let's get to how Ukraine, the thing going on with Russia and Ukraine, the mandates, and Canada are all tied into changing the money system. So let's get it started.
Well, you know what? They've destroyed all of the small businesses pretty much.
Yeah, small business is done. So as you can see here, the vaccine and mask mandates around the country and the world have been coming to an end. We talked about the mask mandates last week.
At the government and federal level, not the local level.
No, at the local level, not the federal and government level.
Some local places are still requiring masks.
No, I'm saying it's not mandated by. Yeah, you had it right. Not mandated by the governor.
In the federal level.
Yeah. So
they're getting that off their back and putting it on the local level.
So they got rid of they started getting rid of the mask stuff last week. About 10 states came out in one day, just got rid of it. They announced it's all going to end on February 28th for most part. A lot of them, some of them in March. This week, seen a little bit more of the vaccine mandates coming to an end. Now, if you've been paying attention to what's going on in Canada, and especially Ottawa, you got Prime Minister Trudeau, who has a mandate for truck drivers to get vaccinated. The truck driver said, F that.
Are they still there?
They're still there. Today, they started arresting them.
Okay. It's been about 2 weeks now.
Yeah, they called truck drivers, though, and the tow trucks came in and started joining the protest. They started parking the tow truck and just joining it. So I don't know how many did it, But yeah, so you don't want to be a tow truck that actually tow one of these.
Gonna lose business.
You don't want to do that. So a lot of them are joining it, but they did start arresting. Trudeau pretty much called for martial law. So they're taking over bank accounts. They're freezing bank accounts, should I say?
If you don't,
and they're coming after crypto wallets. Let's keep in mind with that. Not only are they coming after your bank account, they're coming after your crypto wallet. If you funded that freedom convoy, they are coming after you, right?
That's their. I told you, we said that. That's their January 6th insurrection.
That's their insurrection. So now it started doing it at the Ambassador Bridge in Detroit. It started affecting them so much, the factory started getting kind of behind.
And
America don't play that.
Had to call in and say y'all need to shut that shit down.
So on the American side, they ended it. It's still going on over there. America was afraid, and then we showed last week the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, clearly was spying on people to see what was going on, because they all of a sudden reported we have a belief that there may be a convoy in America on Super Bowl or May 1st in Joe Biden's address to the country. Okay, now, why is that important? When you talk about mandates and why they are so, it's just so, why is it such a divide? It's like, you don't want to do it, why are you trying to affect people? Why are you trying to make me do something that you already did? I shouldn't have to do it. If you got it, I don't need it. You're not protecting me by you getting it.
Yeah.
And then it comes out, it don't work that way. That's why you need to do it. Then the mask mandates. Look, man, if you have a local store and you want a mandate, fine. I won't come to your store. But don't make me wear it outside of your private business. Like, get out of here. If I want to walk around without it, leave me alone. You got one on. I don't need one on. I can't make you allow your private business to let me walk in without it. But you can't make me wear it outside of your business.
I agree.
That's what these white people call it, tyranny.
There was a white dude that came into the store the other day. He didn't have a mask on.
Yeah, and people look at you like crazy.
He was in glee, like, I don't have a mask on.
When I walk around outside, I see people of all ages, because they normally got masks on. They look at me like I'm an alien for not walking around with a mask on.
Yeah, I'd be looking at you too, like, that Negro ain't putting on no mask.
It's like, what is wrong with y'all? But the reason why I'm bringing up Canada is information has come out about the deputy prime minister that I think is important. But before we get to that, I want to show y'all something, because now they want to end these mandates. What were these politicians that are so,
I think it's going to be
pro-mandate saying? What were they saying when Trump was still in office and he was trying to get the vaccine out? And this is the Trump vaccine. This is the Trump scene.
He called it.
It's his. He took ownership of it. So regardless of what happens, he took ownership. It's Trump's. Let's see what they had to say when Trump was trying to push the vaccine before the election.
I think it's going to be a very skeptical American public about taking the vaccine, and they should be.
We can't trust the president and take his word and take a vaccine that might cause harm to us.
If and when the vaccine comes, and it's not likely to go through all the tests that needs to be and the trials that are needed to be done.
Let's just say there's a vaccine that is approved and even distributed before the election. Would you get it?
Well, I think that's going to be an issue for all of us.
When we finally do, God willing, get a vaccine, who's going to take the shot? Who's going to take the shot?
We will need to have access to the vaccine.
Look at this idiot. I'm sorry, I got to interrupt this. Why are you wearing a mask?
And that is the Governor Jay Easley of the state of Washington.
Why would you be wearing a mask in an interview like this? You're not around nobody. This is just literally meant to make you believe you should be wearing it because I'm wearing it.
Results so we can make our independent assessment to make sure that Donald Trump's fingerprints are not on it.
You can be the first one to say, sign me up. They now say it's okay.
Is the vaccine safe? Frankly, I'm not going to trust the federal government's opinion.
Wow.
What?
And this is the one they wanted to run for president?
And they got rid of his ass now, but wow. You are an anti-vax nut if you say that now.
He's putting out misinformation too, by the way.
Yeah, it's all misinformation.
And I wouldn't recommend to New Yorkers based on the federal government's opinion.
And the question of whether it's real when it's there, that requires enormous transparency.
Would you trust that vaccine?
There's very little that we can trust that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth.
We cannot take for granted this process will be free of political influence.
I don't trust the president, and I don't trust the FDA.
If Donald
The FDA got around too.
Trump can't give answers and the administration can't give answers to these three questions, the American people should not have confidence.
You're going to say to the American people now, here's a vaccine. It was new. It was done quickly. But trust this federal administration and their health administration that it's safe.
I will say that I would not trust Donald Trump.
Hey, how confident are you in the approval process of the FDA right now?
How confident am I? I'm not that confident.
Yes, I would be hesitant, but I'm going to ask a lot of questions.
You're going to need someone other than this FDA and this CDC saying it's safe.
This CDC don't call around.
You got to make all of it available to other experts across the nation so they can look and see.
What? You mean the data should be released to the public? By the way, the FDA, is it the FDA or the CDC? I don't know, they defend each other so much now. I don't know which one. They in court right now trying to stop from showing. It was definitely the FDA. The post-approval papers, they are trying to, was it Pfizer is coming to defend the FDA to not have to show the papers, or at least make sure they're done correctly. You know that Pfizer is the ones who didn't want to release their papers until after 75 years.
When everybody dead and gone.
And the judge said, you bullshitting, I'm giving you 6 months. So now the information is going to come out. It's going to come out at some point. But he's saying the information should be public. Well, we've been asking for the information for a year now. In Stonewall, how many Freedom of Information Acts have been filed and they just get ignored and said they're bad faith actors? No. Okay.
So there's consensus this is a safe vaccine.
What I'm worried about is that there's some sort of October surprise and that there is a pressure put on the decision makers here to announce the vaccine in October of 2020.
We're going to put together our own group of doctors and medical experts to review the vaccine and the efficacy and the protocol. And if they say it's safe, then I'll go to the people of New York and I will say it's safe.
But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
That was her black girl moment.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I had to remind y'all what they were saying.
That was Kamala talking.
So, we see the reaction to it, how they were so fervent and just, I'm not taking it. Don't trust it.
They didn't trust it. They didn't believe in the federal government or the FDA. And quite frankly, they were putting out misinformation and being anti-vaxxers, but I'm not one to talk, I suppose.
All right. I'm getting through this, y'all. It's getting something bigger. Just hold on. Now look at this. Remember that COVID-19 nose swab test you took? Now this is the CDC on Twitter. This is February 16th. Remember that COVID-19 nose swab test you took? What happened to the swab? If it was processed with a PCR test, there's a 10% chance that it ended up in a lab for genomic sequencing analysis. Learn more about the process and its importance. So people read that and said, wait, you taking my DNA and doing genomic sequencing? You doing analysis on my DNA? I didn't approve this. So they came out and said, our CDC video tweet led to some confusion. To clarify, the CDC and our partners conduct genome sequencing analysis on the virus that causes COVID-19. Sequencing of the virus helps identify to monitor the spread and the impact of variants. So what they're saying is we're doing an analysis of the virus, not your DNA. So we took the swab and we separating the virus from your DNA in it. And we're just seeing what variant you have.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
we believe
I got a bridge to sell you. It's cheap too. If you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. Remember China? There was a lot of those tests that was taken in America. And allegedly, they ended up over there.
Mm.
Remember when China allegedly was accused of taking DNA away from athletes that went over there during their Olympic Games?
Yep.
I wonder what they're doing right now.
Building an army.
The Yellow Army. So
I guess the gold ain't that good if they got to go get other genetic stuff from other people to help build.
Yeah. Now this woman here, I literally cannot show the video on YouTube. I already know because Twitter has struck her post as misleading. So I'm not even going to try to show it. I'm going to leave a link in the description to her page so y'all can go see what she said. She got a 3-part video series. They're only like 2 minutes long each. And she shows the difference between certain people's blood and other people's blood and how it looks under a microscope. Not as I say microscope. How it looks.
Whose blood though?
I don't want to go into too much detail.
It's blood. Tell whose blood it is.
You mean who? You mean who? What do you mean who? The person's name?
You said one person's blood looks different.
No, a certain demographics blood type.
Who the demographics?
You really gonna make this hard. I can't say it.
Is it black and?
No, it's not race.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, you got it now. So certain people's blood work after a certain event, and other people's blood work who didn't go to that certain event, and it's crazy. And some other news had came out about, that As I Die Slow, I can't even show it. I'm just going to leave links in the description. Just go to it. I'm going to put it in the description. What she showed and the stuff that's coming out right now, if it is true, all I'm saying.
I say a little prayer for you.
It's not funny, but if it's true.
Oh, that ain't trying to be funny.
Now, I got something else to show you. Biden. So this people call this, what would you call this organization, news network, whatever you want to call it, called Project Veritas. Got somebody else. Remember when they got the lady, the chubby lady, outside the workplace, who was an associate for Pfizer, I believe, or was it FDA?
I don't know which one.
CDC, one of those. They caught her outside and she started running, but she didn't want to talk to them. Remember that? Well, Project Veritas has caught somebody else, allegedly. This guy here, Christopher Cole, is allegedly the FDA executive officer of Countermeasures Initiative. Now, this is all alleged. I'm going to show you what he said Biden's plan is for the vaccinations. Let me go ahead.
Biden wants to inoculate as many people as possible. So you have to get an annual shot. I mean, it hasn't been formally announced yet, because they don't want to rile everyone up. The drug companies, the food companies, the vaccine companies, they pay us hundreds of millions of dollars a year to hire and keep the reviewers to approve their products. If they can get every person required at an annual vaccine, that is a recurring return of money going into their company. I mean, just from everything I've heard, they're not going to not approve it.
Meet Christopher Cole, an executive officer at the FDA with over 20 years' experience who claims to be directly involved in the approval process of the various COVID vaccines. What you're about to witness raises some alarming concerns, from the government's desire to mandate an annual vaccine for everyone, including young children, to the billions of dollars that exchange hands between our government and Big Pharma to railroad the approval process.
I'm a manager for the Food and Drug Administration. My agency oversees vaccines, vaccine approvals, and devices for vaccines. And my office clears all the emergency approvals. Because since COVID is under an emergency order, we expedite the approval of any emergency. I've been there for like 22 years. Biden wants to inoculate as many people as possible. So you have to get an annual shot. I mean, it hasn't been formally announced yet, because they don't want to rile everyone up.
Is it going to be formally announced?
Yeah, at some point. I mean, it's going to be, and some of it's been talked about publicly, but it has been talked about on like CNN or Fox or MSNBC or anything. So yeah, you'll have to get an annual. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be a gradual thing. School's going to mandate it.
Why do they need the third one?
Well, the same reason that you or I would need the third one, because the vaccine, it wanes. Mm-hmm. Your ability to fight it wanes. So the 3 will bolster your system. And then there will be an annual, eventually an annual, just like the flu shot.
For the toddlers?
Well, for everyone.
Okay, so the toddlers too then. We'll have to get it annually. Okay.
I mean, that's in the future. We're not sure. That might involve more studies.
The FDA was scheduled to meet this week to discuss approval of the Pfizer vaccine for children as young as 6 months old. They were hoping to have the new vaccine available by the end of the month, but the meeting was unexpectedly canceled, citing the need for more testing.
You guys have been in the news a lot the last couple of days.
Yeah, we're looking at trying to approve. I don't completely agree with the process. They're looking at trying to inoculate kids under 5 years old, between 6 months and 5 years old.
What do you mean you don't agree with the process?
Well, I mean they don't have all the tests aren't there. So I agree with the thing that it is important to inoculate them. But you can't provide the parent as much a surety as you normally want to.
Despite Cole's concerns regarding the possible dangers of vaccinating young children, it seems the FDA is still willing to go through with this approval.
It's an EUA for all age groups, all designations, and then you have to get approved by specific age groups based on the study.
Do you think it's really an emergency for the toddlers?
Well, they're all approved under an emergency, just because it's not as impactful as some of the other approvals, emergency approvals, but they're all being approved under that standard. The efficacy data doesn't have to be as high. The standard is on emergency use authorizations is that it does more benefit than harm.
So how do you know it's already getting approved?
Well, they're not going to, just from everything I've heard, they're not going to not approve it.
I thought their cases weren't that high for 6 month to 4-year-olds.
They're not, but because it's related to COVID, it's under that approval process.
So how many babies did they have to jab, basically, for the trial?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the trial.
Wait. Now, once again, I don't know if this guy is who they say he is. For the most part, with them, they typically who they say it is. He just said, basically admitted that they did they did trials on babies.
Yep.
Now the question to ask is, where did the babies come from? Did the parents bring them and allow it?
Or did they?
Or did they get them from orphanage homes or low-income housing areas?
How many people they did. There's always a chance of long-term effects, especially with someone younger.
Cole seems certain the federal government will require annual COVID vaccines, including young children, even though the efficacy, adverse reactions, and long-term effects are still unknown.
It's hard to find, pregnant women for these studies, and a significant number in order to be statistically accurate. I haven't tested enough on pregnancy, on vaccines and everything, and women, because they have different systems than men. And
they haven't tested enough?
Well, they have, but they haven't done enough prior. Now they've also been very good at promoting that, but that was an issue for a period of time.
Well, I feel like that's still an issue.
It is still an issue. We still haven't gotten there.
I read a couple articles about it, and everything I saw was that the first 2 shots weren't effective.
There has been, yes, it has not been as effective as they're expecting. I agree.
Now, this was a direct response from the FDA. They said prior to publishing, FDA press officer Abby provided a comment regarding Project Veritas investigation. She said the person purportedly in the video does not work on vaccine matters and does not represent the views of the FDA. So he does work for the company.
Mm-hmm.
But she's saying he's not who he said he is as far as his place in the company. In the organization, in the agency, I guess.
People telling
Just
lies.
make sure I put that out there. They said that he doesn't deal with vaccine matters and he does not represent the views of the FDA. But what he said was damning. One, they want annual vaccines. That's not new. We knew.
And they're saying it's going to be, they want to make it mandatory.
Yeah. So are they taking away the mandates so they can say, look, We'll get rid of the mandates for you to enter buildings and stuff, but we'll bring in mandates for annual vaccinations.
What's the difference?
Remember
if I want to take it, now I ain't going to take it annually.
Remember they got rid of the term fully vaccinated and changed it to up to date.
So when you get it every year, you're up to date.
Are you up to date on your vaccinations? Now are you fully vaccinated? Now, when people said they're going to change the definition of fully vaccinated, they called people liars. And then they went on to change the definition of fully vaccinated. So what is this about? Why do these people, is it really about these vaccines or is it about something more? Like, I can't show this. So I'm going to link this right here. You can't see it on the screen. This is something else I'm going to link that as I die slow. Something else I'm going to link on the screen. All right. Now look at this right here. Is it just about the vaccines or is it about something more? They said as the pandemic raged, at least 75 lawmakers bought and sold stock in companies that make COVID-19 vaccine treatments and tests. So these people are lawmakers who invested in companies that they could profit from during the pandemic. So they went on and showed all these people, gave their name, what they invested in. He put money into Regeneron and Quest. Let me go down. There's one in particular I want to show. These people were supposedly against it, but they put money into it. I can't find the name. Yeah, both Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson gave more to Democrats than to Republicans. I don't know how that's important, seeing how both of them profited from it. So now I say, is it about money? Was it just about money? I don't think so. So let's get to it. What I really want to talk about. We were talking about Canada and them fighting to keep the mandates open. Once again, a lot of the places in Canada are striking down the mandates throughout Europe, throughout what you call the West and America. Well, the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, grandfather, was a Nazi.
And they try to claim that they only went to, well, not only went to, but they mainly went to South America.
Hold on. Now, the Deputy Prime Minister, this is her. It says here, granddad was indeed a Nazi collaborator, so much for Russian disinformation. These allegations came out in like 2017. She blamed it on Russian. The Russians are trying to destroy Western society. She's never denied it. She just said Russia is putting out this information, right? But people did the work. People went and looked it up. Her grandfather was a Nazi news propagandist who came out of guess where? Ukraine. He was set up in Ukraine. He ended up having to run from Ukraine because, stuff popped off. And guess what he ran to? Canada. He changed his name.
Which is what they all do.
They all change their name. Now, when we talk about the Nazis, most of the time when you talk about where did the Nazis go, a lot of them are saying they went to South America. When they did, they got a whole colony down there. They was doing, up until like the 90s, the Nazis in South America was still running human tests on people, setting them on fire, throwing them out of windows, breaking their bones, and then healing them back to health and doing it again and see how their body react. They still down there. They got land, beautiful land, for a whole colony where they use that money they got from the Holocaust.
They always dwell in the fatness of the earth, the greatest places.
The mountain, it's beautiful land. You can look it up on YouTube. Nazis in South America, just look it up. And it's gorgeous land. And the guy who went there and interviewed them was a CIA, or not CIA, I'm sorry. He's a special forces military, U.S. military. And he's interviewing them, acting like he's just a regular journalist. And it's like, these people are like, yes, they're showing the medals from the World War II and all the medals their grandfathers these were Nazis. Not all of them went to South America. As we know, Operation Paperclip. They say they brought only 1,600 Nazi scientists to America. That's literally how you got NASA. NASA is Nazi scientists. It's funny they name themselves NASA, Nazis.
Exactly.
So America took on allegedly just 1,600 Nazi scientists.
That's a lot.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, they started creating stuff in America too. One of the most popular things they created around the 50s, 60s was something called MK Ultra. I'm pretty sure you've heard of that. The Unabomber allegedly went through MK Ultra, but they said he didn't. He went through a similar psychological situation, but it was through another man who was a part of the OSS. The OSS is what became the CIA. So this stuff is not new. Also, a lot of the Nazis in the Ukraine, they went to Canada. So now I'm saying this to say, you have, we showed, I think it was 2-3 episodes ago, in Ukraine, America literally backed a Nazi, what do they call it, platoon in Ukraine. The platoon in Ukraine are literally walking around with swastikas on their helmet. They're literal Nazis. They allowed a coup to happen in the Ukraine, and the leadership are Nazis, like open. And nobody talks about it.
They never went anywhere.
They're Nazis. They put Nazis in power. That's why Putin, when he addressed the what they call it, the celebration of World War II, he said we were fighting Nazis then, and we're still fighting Nazis. He literally said that. By the way, Russia lost the most soldiers in that war against Germany, not America. America has changed the narrative, like they're the ones who saved the day. It was Russia who was there first, lost the most people, not America. America really made them, they puffed their stuff up in that war.
Which is what they typically do.
So now you have a situation, and this is here, right here. This is her grandfather, and this is his boss, right here. Look at this. Somebody did it. Somebody broke it down real clean. This is her grandfather, his boss. This guy here, Michael Frank. This guy is called the Butcher of Poland, literally. And guess who his boss is?
Adolf Hitler.
So her father was 4 levels down from Adolf Hitler. Now, if he has the views that he have, you think he taught his child or her father or mother the same thing? So what does she believe? She's smiling at the idea of freezing people's bank accounts because they don't agree with her policies. And they put money towards a movement. This is what you got going on right now. So when you look at America, Canada, Australia, and all these places, you go, what the hell is going on?
They switching up.
They telling you who they are. All right, let's hold on. Let me go. All right, now let's go to this next one. They didn't hear that, man.
Yes, they did.
All right. Clinton campaign paid to infiltrate Trump Tower. White House service to link Trump to Russia during fines. All right. The special prosecutor Durham released a report that said Hillary Clinton was linked to a man, Michael Sussman, who was a lawyer, who went to the CIA, FBI, and said that he had no client, that he was just releasing information to be a good citizen, that Trump was tied to Russia. He just so happened to bill that to Hillary Clinton's campaign, but he had no client though. Now, when you read this, Fox News go to the extreme and say that Hillary Clinton broke into the no. Hillary Clinton simply did what politicians do. She found somebody who had connections. He used them, certain things. Will she Houdini her way out of this? Yes, she will. Nothing's going to happen to Hillary Clinton.
She ain't scared at all.
So, now, when we talk about the Russia thing started in 2015 with Trump. Trump ended up winning the election. It got even harder. The Russia thing ramped up even more. But he didn't really get it real bad until he kicked the hornet's nest and said something about Ukraine. When he got caught on phone, his phone calls were released. Now we know it was by the CIA or FBI. But he was asking the Ukrainians to investigate the Democrats, what they were doing in their country.
Yeah.
That's when the hornet's nest got kicked, and that's when they ramped it up to 1,000. They were like, he's Russia, Russia, Russia. That's when they really turned it up. When he said something about Ukraine, there's another Ukrainian connection. I talked about how Canadian Trudeau and his deputy prime minister don't get along with Putin, and the deputy prime minister's father came out of the Ukraine as a Nazi propagandist.
Well, of course they wouldn't get along.
Exactly. Now I'm telling you that Clinton and the Trump thing is really about Ukraine, right? All right. Let's go a little further. You see this? Republicans dragged Biden's NSA National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan into center of Durham's Russia probe for lying by saying Trump had hotline to Kremlin bank and receiving information from Clinton lawyer indicted for lying to the FBI. Okay. Now, Jake Sullivan was connected to the Clinton campaign. He was out and out in 2017 saying that Trump was connected to Russia. So now that this report is coming out by Durham, is it possible that Sullivan knew it was fake, spreading propaganda, a fake story?
Probably so.
And what is Jake Sullivan? He's the National Security Advisor. And what is he doing right now? National Security Advisor said Russia could invade Ukraine any day now. So the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, who's connected to Clinton, just got hit with a bomb that says she might have pushed the bullshit that Russiagate, basically. He's now pushing for war with with Russia because of Ukraine.
Yep.
So now we're saying, okay, this war with Russia, well, keep in mind, the USA and NATO are not going to fight this war. They want Ukraine to go to war with Russia. They don't want to go to war. So why is NATO, the USA, Canada, UK, why are they pushing for this so much? Biden just said today that he believes that Putin is still going to invade Ukraine. He's been saying that for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. He's been saying that for 2 weeks. It's supposed to have been last Wednesday when he invaded.
Now it was this Wednesday. Now he's saying, he could do it any day now. He keeps saying, I believe it's possible. Wait, that means you don't have any intel to prove this is going to happen. Why are you telling the public this?
Propaganda.
To create hysteria. So now the Ukraine has been saying for the past month, Russia is not invading us. Please don't tell your citizens to come back. The tourists can come back. Nothing's happening. And they keep saying that Russia is on the Ukrainian border. No, Russia is on the Russian border. All their military is on their side of the border. They're in their own country. It's comparable to to America. Imagine if America had their soldiers on the Mexico border, and Mexico said, get your soldiers off our border. You would say, they're on our border. They're on our side of the border. So they're trying to bully Russia, or really trying to convince Ukraine to go against Russia. And now what is in the Ukraine? Well, like I said, Donald Trump is the one who brought it up. Is it possible? Hold on, make sure I got something to go next. Yeah, let me show this first. This is how far America's this is how far America is willing to go. Now look at this. U.S. offers Ukraine $1 billion loan guarantee.
If they go to war?
No. Remember, Russia offered peace with the Ukraine just recently. And Ukraine was kind of thinking about it, and America immediately offered them $1 billion loan. And you go, wait.
For what?
Did America just pretty much try to buy a war?
Drive.
I think UK offered $100 million or something. They offered millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to the Ukraine right now if they don't side with Russia. Now, if you're the president of the country, you like, that's $1 billion. I'm getting offered hundreds of millions of dollars, like, to just not be cool with you. All right. Now, what the hell is in the Ukraine that is causing this fuss? Well, remember, like I said, Trump wanted the Ukrainians to investigate what the Democrats were doing in the Ukraine. Is it possible? This is speculative. Is it possible that let's be honest who it is, the Democrats want a war between Russia and Ukraine because they have something in the Ukraine they want blown up and destroyed. Maybe some servers. Is it possible that the servers are not in D.C., but the DNC servers are in the Ukraine? Is it possible that they want a war so that certain things that they don't want to get out can get destroyed so they can be good?
Why wouldn't they just destroy it themselves?
How you going to destroy it? If they just randomly blow up, they're going to say, who the hell blew this building up? You can't just carry this stuff out of the people going to be watching. So what are they going to do? They can't just blow it up. But if a war starts, look at Russia blew up Ukraine. Oh my God, we got to help Ukraine. Let's give them more money so they can build their military back up. We're not going to actually fight for them. I'm just saying. Now it goes even further than that. Let me move on to the next thing. Look at this. The Washington Examiner. Look at this. Anthony Blinken. Russia might use chemical weapons for Ukraine attack pretext. Now, what just happened, I think a little while ago, maybe yesterday or the day before yesterday, a bombing happened in the Ukraine. And Russians are saying somebody just bombed, because in the place that got bombed, Donbass, I think, they are pro-Russia. It's in the Ukraine, but they are pro-Russia. So Russia's like, somebody just bombed the pro-Russian city in the Ukraine. And America came out and said, Anthony Blinken, he came out and said, look, it's possible that Russia might attack the pro-Russian area to blame it on the Ukraine, a false flag. Or they might use chemical weapons. So something happened, and Russia's like, what the hell's going on?
We already know who did it.
And America's like, hey, they might use this as a false flag to attack Ukraine, to invade the Ukraine.
We already know who did this. Wicked, wicked, wicked.
Now, when we talk about the chemical weapons, we know we've heard that before. Oh, Colin Powell, the man who was supposed to be president, but he took the hit for this. If Colin Powell didn't do this, he would have been the first quote unquote black president.
Jamaican.
He's Jamaican. He would have been the first black president. But he took the hit for Iraq and stuff, so Saddam Hussein, he had to take the hit for this because Bush wasn't going to go down for it, alone at least. Colin Powell's UN speech, a decisive moment in undermining U.S. credibility. Remember when he got on there and said that anthrax, Saddam Hussein, they're making buckets of anthrax. We got to go in there right now. And they went in there.
You remember the anthrax? Oh, Lord.
The anthrax scare?
That was the early 2000s.
2003, 2000. I remember.
Getting it in the mail. Yeah. Everybody's afraid to open up the envelopes.
We in the hood. Look, we grew up in the hood, or at least a neighborhood. And we up here checking our mail for anthrax.
We be scared to open up the damn mail.
Ain't nobody trying to, well, at least they ain't trying to kill us. That way, at least. We was one of the few people in the country that didn't have to worry about no damn anthrax coming through the mail to them.
You got to worry about diabetes and heart failure and strokes.
And we up here making sure we put on masks before we open the envelope and see powder in there.
I don't remember that part now. Putting on a damn mask.
See, I'm trying to. See, you just always gotta. You gotta put a little spice on it. No, we ain't put no damn mask on.
You put a lie on it.
We ain't put no mask on. But we definitely was checking for powder. 100% was looking. Put the envelope up to the light. Is there powder in there? Nope. All right, open it. And I ain't last that long. Only last for a few weeks. And nigga said ain't nobody trying to do nothing to us and moved on. But still. Now back to my point. Colin Powell already used the chemical warfare thing. And guess when he did it? February of 2003.
And it's February
of 2022.
They have the same running script, don't they?
Same damn thing. Now we're going to get into the money system. Why do they want a war? Now I said it's a possibility that they want a war because, they got something in the Ukraine they want to hide. We know that Hunter Biden has a lot of connections.
That's who I wanted to bring up. Hunter Biden is connected to the Ukraine too.
Obviously China too, but Ukraine, he has a lot of business in the Ukraine. What's in Ukraine that Hunter Biden is connected to? Let me say this. Does Hunter Biden have any business partner in the Ukraine?
Or was he leading an operation there?
Now, if he has people he did business with in the Ukraine and a war pop off, they might get sniped by Russian soldiers. Who knows? They pop up dead. Oh, a Russian did it. A Russian shot this person in their car.
That ain't how the Clintons do there, though.
I'm just saying, if a war pop off, a sniper might shoot you. The bullet might be not Russian, but a Russian did it. if you catch my drift.
They just take them out. They don't really beat around the bush.
Oh, the Clinton bodies. Now look at
Arkansas massacre.
And look at it. Just keep in mind, this is where the money system comes in. NATO chief Stoltenberg named Norway's central bank chief despite opposition. The man who's in control of a military, the NATO is military. So the man who was in control of a military is now in control of a bank.
Where he have all the money to fund.
So what does a man who's into military operations know about banking? unless banking is about military operations.
Banking, it means funding wars.
So they put him in charge, and he's gonna be the banking man of Norway.
He my banking man.
So now we talking about banking.
Like Ian.
Ian, my money man. If y'all knew that inside joke, boy, that's a good one. Ian, my money man. Now look at this. You see this? Federal Reserve needs to deliver a Volcker-style shock to drive down asset prices if they want to slow inflation without causing a recession, according to Credit Suisse Group AG strategist Zoltan Pazar. Zoltan Pazar says the Feds need to spark a market crash to bring down inflation. A market crash. A recession, right? But they're saying you don't need a recession. But let's get into this. So why are they asking for a market crash to get rid of inflation? All right, let me go here. Look at this. Policymakers should stoke volatility to set off corrections in assets including stocks, housing, and Bitcoin, deterring early retirement and driving people into the workforce, Pozar wrote in a note to the clients. His comments harked back to the way Paul Volcker broke the back of inflation in the 1980s with massive rate increase. You hear what he said? He said they need to stoke volatility to set off corrections in assets including stocks, housing, and Bitcoin. Deterring early retirement. They need to lower the money worth and make you work longer.
Which means you don't get your Social Security.
No. Instead of you retiring at
60.
60. Let's say you got enough money, you retire at 60. You made someone's money, enough money at least. You can retire at 60. Well, we need to make it where that's not possible. The money is so much lower that you need to work a little longer till you're 74. What's the retirement age is 75, right?
No, the retirement age is 60.
66?
66 or 67, 68.
So maybe you want to retire at 50 or 55. We need to make the money, we need to make the thing so volatile that you work until you're 65 or at least 60, right? The difference this time is policymakers need to bring about more supply of labor, not less demand for it. The slow inflation in services, which is driven up mainly by higher housing costs and availability of workers, Pozar said. The key to turning those drivers around is to tighten financial conditions by increasing long-term borrowing costs that underpin asset valuation, the influential analysis said. Maybe the Fed should hike 50 basis points in March, put an end to press conferences, and sell $50 billion of 10-year notes the next day in a view that shine. So basically, they're trying to artificially, quote unquote, fix inflation. Not let it go through what it's supposed to go through. This dude right here, the dude who said this, Zoltan Pazar. Let me show you.
All these weird names.
These are all Europeans.
Yeah.
Or quote unquote Europeans. All right, so let me show y'all this. This is him. This is the financial wonderkin. This man's he's already high up in the banking industry. He's only 42. If you understood, that's difficult to get that high up at 42. Some of these dudes be 60 by the time they get where he's already at. Let me show you this. Prior to joining Credit Suisse in February 2015, Mr. Pozar was a senior advisor to the U.S. Department of Treasury when he advised the Office of Debt Management and the Office of Financial Research and served as a Treasury liaison to the FSB on matters of financial innovation. Mr. Pozar was deeply involved in the response to the global financial crisis and the ensuing policy debate. He joined the Federal Reserve Bank of New York in August 2008 in charge of the marketing intelligence for scrutinized credit markets and served as point person on market development for senior Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury, and White House officials throughout the crisis. Played an instrumental role in the building of TAF to backstop the ABS market and pioneered the mapping of a shadow banking system which inspired the FSB efforts to monitor and regulate shadow banking globally. So he's a person who's influential, right? He has he's taken very serious when he says he wants something done. It gets done usually. He's very credible in that field. All right, now look at this. German bank doesn't rule out gold reevaluation. But before we even get to that, I may accidentally jump to that right quick. You see this? You should see the screen. All right. Member of Shadow Banking Institute for New Economic Thinking. I just want that part. Institute for New Economic Thinking. Guess who started that?
Who?
George Soros. This guy,
the funder, the one funding Black Lives Matter
and all that other stuff. So this guy is he's connected to George Soros. So we know right now we're talking about New World Order. We're talking about New World Order. His job, this guy Zoltan's job, is to rethink society's economic system. Right? Now, war changes economic systems. They want a war. They seem like they want World War III with Russia. World War I, there was a change to the economic system. You got Social Security and all that stuff. World War II, that's when the dollar became the reserve currency. So every time there's a big war, the economies across the world change. Now we know now, like we said, they want to get rid of paper currency. They want no ownership of. They don't want you to have any ownership or anything.
They want you to live in an apartment.
Exactly. They want you to not own, how do you say it? Not own anything and be happy. So his job is to reimagine how we look at the world economy. And they're going to do it, possibly, not only through what they've been doing for the last 2 years, but possibly a war as well. They already got rules on the books, laws on the books that they acting like we're going to end the mandate, but it's on the books still. So you can fire it up any moment now. It's already in the books. Now you want a war so you can really push things forward. And you're going to use this type of person to figure it out how you're going to do it. Let's do this last one. This just tells you they know the dollar is falling. The dollar is falling. All fiat currency is falling. The pound, all that stuff. It's not worth anything no more. They know it. They can't even lie no more. German central bank doesn't rule out gold reevaluation, the gold observer, right? In this article, what they're saying is we're going to revalue how much gold is worth. For instance, America now has surpassed $30 trillion in debt. America has no gold. We know they have no gold in their reserve. Let's say America has some gold in their reserve. Right now, gold is worth $1,800 per ounce. And they said, you know what? It's not worth $1,800. It's worth $1 billion per ounce. Or say $1 trillion per ounce. And then just pay their debt off with the overinflated gold. That's what they're trying to do with this. That's what the Deutsche Bank is trying to do. They're saying, let's make gold worth more so that we can pay off our debt. How you inflate gold? The price of gold, it doesn't change. It goes up based off the market. It's not even supposed to change then. They want to inflate gold to pay off the debt. So right now it's worth $1,800. America can say, this is obviously not America, this is Germany. Let's say America said, no, it's worth $150,000 an ounce. And then they pay off their $30 trillion debt. And now they're trillionaires. Anybody who got gold, a lot of gold, will be trillionaires. Instead of being worth 600 billion, 500 billion, they're worth 10 trillion. So the billionaires become trillionaires overnight.
I bet they would love that.
Talk about a new economy. It ain't going to be dollars. So now you see what Bitcoin, the reason why they driving that stock down like crazy and all the other altcoins, they're trying to figure out who's going to be the one that take it over. Who's going to put gold behind a coin, a virtual coin. China trying to do it. A lot of the European countries trying to do it. America obviously trying to do it. Who's going to be the one that able to put gold behind a coin, cryptocurrency? The person who do that they're going to be the country that ride out the next kingdom.
Should be Africa.
You would think they have the most gold.
Should be Africa.
They should be the ones that take it over.
That's why China over there in Africa.
Exactly. They're trying to be friendly, quote unquote. They being friends and they mining the hell out of them.
Giving them lights and
cities and buying up ports though. I'm buying your port, but I'm gonna give you lights. What you need my port for?
Akon and Young. Akon took a couple loans to. What's going on with that city he building?
I ain't heard nothing about it.
He tried to get Black Americans to go to. Yeah.
By the way, France just took soldiers out of Mali. What else? Why you have them in Mali? Number one, and where they going? You don't take somebody out of somewhere, let's send them somewhere else. Like Biden them, they took the soldiers out of Afghanistan, now they're sending them to Eastern Europe for Ukraine. It's all about the money system. Ukraine is about possibly a change to the money system they're about to try to do. The whole last 2 years have been about a change to the money system. The dollar is falling, it's done, they can't lie no more. They're trying to get rid of the oil energy anyway. That's why Biden cutting pipelines and stuff. Then crying about the oil prices going up. When you got rid of the pipeline, underneath Trump, America for the first time was energy sufficient. They didn't need nobody else. They had their own oil. They had their own energy system. They literally didn't need no one. That's why the economy was going up, 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 up. Biden come in cutting couple corporations off from oil, and it goes down. Common sense.
He was brought in to
destroy the system.
Yeah,
and Trump is a part of it.
Yeah, he's a part of it too.
All right, I did my rant now. It's about the money system, all of it.
Man, oh man, what they have in store.
They got a lot of stuff in store. They're gonna reimagine this whole society.
You have to be strong to endure these times that we're getting ready to go into.
Yeah, then it's not even to mention, we ain't even getting to how what's his name? Bill Gates is buying up all the farms. They own, the corporations own seeds.
Bill Gates is buying up all the farms. I didn't even know that Jeff Bezos
he buying the whole world pretty much at this point.
I didn't even know he had bought the Key Arena here in Seattle.
Yep.
Is
it the Key Arena or
it's
FedEx?
It's the Key Arena.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Ain't that the Seattle football stadium? Or is that another one?
I believe that's the Key Arena. That's where they also go and perform too.
Yeah. It's not the football team, I don't think.
They literally
they buying blocks. They buying whole
buying blocks.
Yeah.
Like they're taking out it's like 5 stores and Amazon just buy up the whole block and turn it into
all those small
Amazon
businesses.
Fresh. I was walking past it. They literally have an employee entrance. They bought a building just for the employee entrance. They don't even need to have an employee entrance, but just for the employee image, they took out a damn Rite Aid. The Rite Aid is the employee entrance.
He's a man.
That's just crazy.
There's a reason why he get compared to Lex Luthor. He just rich. He just buy stuff. Just buy it.
And people be like, "Oh, the donations." No, that's tax write-offs.
Exactly.
I was overhearing a conversation of a boomer.
Yeah.
And what's the other generation?
X.
Boomer and Generation X talking shit about millennials.
Uh-huh.
How millennials are just pampered and we're spoiled and we never had to work for everything. Everything is given to us. I was a fly on the damn wall. It took me everything to not hop in a conversation and say, really? Boomer is talking?
Boomers, you took everything. You spent it.
And Generation X.
Yeah, they just
y'all
leave.
Trying to be millennials. Who are you? You adapt to every damn different generation. Now you the latest generation coming up.
Yeah, Z.
Y'all literally adapt to every damn generation. You don't want to get old.
Yeah, the forever young generation. But yeah, you said she was talking shit about Bezos. She liked Gates, but she was okay with
she's talking shit about Bezos because she feel like Bezos is buying up everything, and she feels like it's not his donations to charity is not genuine, which I agree.
Yeah,
it's a tax write-off.
It is. So.
But it's amazing how people are connected to people, because she's a Metro bus driver and she's gone to like Bill Gates' house.
Yeah. Did you say
And the guy, he is a construction worker, and he's gone to Bill Gates' house. And I'm like, what is these niggas doing at Bill Gates' house?
Well, they probably built something.
No. Why is the Metro bus driver at his house?
Well, you said she was in, when'd she go?
I don't know. She didn't get time.
Did you say she ran with,
she was a track star.
Yeah.
So she knows.
Was it Michael Johnson or the other dude?
Carl Lewis and
yeah.
Bo. Is it Bo Jackson?
Bo Jackson?
Yeah. All these people she know because she was a track star. Mind you, she is from Ohio. She's not from Seattle.
Should have got a name. I would have looked her up. So that's probably why she met. She probably won a medal or something.
No, she didn't meet Bill Gates back then, dude.
Oh, she met him recently.
I believe so. Recently,
No, wait, did she say?
I would say like maybe 10, maybe 5.
No, did she say a time period?
She didn't say a time period.
Well, how the hell you gonna know when she met him?
She didn't meet no damn Bill Gates when she was 14 years old. He wasn't popular then.
How old is? You don't even know how old a woman is.
She's a boomer.
How you know? Oh, she said she a boomer. Yeah. Wait, boomers is what? The 50s?
60? No, boomers is they 60, 70, 80. Generation X is your
70.
Is your 50.
No, you got it backwards.
Your late 40s.
No, you got it backwards.
Oh.
Boomers are 50s and all that stuff. X are 70s, 80s. 70s and early 80s.
No, the generation after the boomers.
That's X.
Yeah, our mama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's 70s. Yeah.
He's Generation X. She's a boomer.
Oh, so she's like 70.
So she wouldn't have been meeting no Bill Gates when she was running fucking track.
No, she wouldn't.
So she met him fairly, I would say, recently.
Maybe she has some other stuff going on.
Yeah, sure she do.
Oh, here you go.
Conspiracies.
All right, I think we went on long enough on this one. I went on in the conspiracy. I gave all the conspiracy I had. I gave it all I could.
Your last 30. Jimmy Moore. You gave him more. You gave him all.
Jimmy Moore. Oh, man.
That little town.
So
many things.
But anyway, man, you got anything else you want to say?
No.
Because you ain't say much because I was just ranting and going.
No, I let you have the last. You always get it the last 40 minutes of the show.
About 40 minutes.
You go into your damn your COVID.
I wasn't talking about 40 minutes, was it?
Yeah, you was talking about 40 minutes.
No, it was about 25.
Even before that, you was talking.
There you go. So. All right, now I got my conspiracies off. But anyway, man, since you ain't got nothing else to say, y'all be safe, man. Be good out there.
Well,
change a little bit. Get all you can right now. If you can store some food and water, you better get it now.
You better get your water. You better get your food. You better get your canned goods.
Canned
goods.
They gonna get you.
For those of you who got little ass hands, get you some brass knuckles. Load up on your blades and your guns.
Yeah, they don't want no.
Cause shit is gonna hit the fan. It's gonna be more and more things that's gonna go down. So
yeah, man, y'all be safe though, man. And that's the end of that. But anyway, man, all praise to the Most High, and peace, man.